Okay, so just hear me out. I've got a plan. It's a little crazy, but it's a plan. This is comics, right? So we're used to craziness. Let's start with the background on this one. Starting on February 7th, Belgium is issuing a new passport. It's got a new design to it that includes a comics theme, a bande dessinée theme. Forget your NFTs, forget your CGCs, your POGs, all your other three-letter acronyms. This Belgian passport is now the ultimate comics collectible. And you can get it for a mere 65 euros. As far as I can tell, they don't take any crypto, which is probably fine for all of us. The new passport has all sorts of new security provisions, but we don't care about that. We care about the part where when you hit the passport with, I think it's a black light, Belgian comic book characters come to life. We're talking the Smurfs and Tintin, Lucky Luke, Spiro, Marsupilami, Largo Winch, all the greatest hits will show up on this passport. It will be the coolest passport in the world. But there's one catch. You have to be a Belgian citizen. I have a cunning plan. Bonus points for Blackadder fans out there who get that reference. I want a Belgian passport, and to get that, I know I need to become a Belgian citizen. I'm taking comic fandom to a new high here, people. Now, I want to get dual citizenship. I'm not really ready to give up being an American. I'm not that kind of person. I just want the Belgian citizenship because I think it would be cool. It's the way the passports work. You need that citizenship first. Or you need to be, one of those characters in a spy show that knows a guy who shows up in a dark alley with a bag full of passports from all around the world to give you your choice of who you want to be and from what country you want to be. The kind of thing that probably was in a Queen and Country book at some point, was definitely on an Alias TV show episode, no doubt. I don't know any of those people. I don't hang around with that kind of group. It helps keep me out of jail and free of felonies on my record, so I can't do that. So, how do I become a Belgian citizen? I went to the Brussels, Belgium website to find out the answer. There are a few options here. The first that I thought might work in my favor is a family link, a heritage, so to speak. There is a provision that allows you to get Belgian citizenship if your family is from Belgium. Unfortunately, I'm a generation off. They only let you go back one generation. It would have to be my parents who were from Belgium, or at least one of them. And in my case, it was my grandparents on my father's side who came over from Belgium over 100 years ago. 120 some odd, 130 years ago. I have the original Ellis Island receipt you can see on my website. It's there. I can prove that I have relatives from Belgium. And by the way, living in 2022, it's kind of crazy to think that the immigration process was they wrote your name in a ledger at Ellis Island and you went. They didn't have a computer system that interfaced with the other country's computer system to look up your, felony records or that you owed money to your ex-wife or anything crazy like that. No, it was a piece of paper they put your name on. Interesting. In any case, that Ellis Island receipt is not going to work for me today now. So unfortunately, I'm out on the family link. I could, however, marry a Belgian woman, which would be great, except I don't know where to meet them. And oh yes, I'm married. So that's not going to work. I'm not looking to do a sister wives thing here for Belgian citizenship. Also, I don't know how to explain to my wife the idea of, honey, I want to get a Belgian passport. So do you want a sister wife? No, I don't think that's really going to work. So we have to go the good old-fashioned way, and that is become a naturalized Belgian citizen. This is a very long-term play. We have to hope, first of all, that these passports last a few years, because I need to live in and work in Belgium for at least 5 years to be considered for this. I need to find a job over there with an employer, preferably one who could help with the paperwork. I'd need to hold on to that job for, again, at least 5 years. Maybe Dupuis would give me a job working on Spiro Journal, perhaps. I have a whole stack of those back issues in a couple boxes behind me. I read it digitally every week, or at least I flip through it. I read some panels every week. But even at that, it's a long-term play. I need at least a 5-year window here to make this thing happen. So while I still have to sort out the residency requirements, the problem with actually living in the country. There is one slight workaround, and that is they have recently added a category for getting your professional card, your work visa, so to speak, under the term of being self-employed. The website doesn't exactly give you a definition of what self-employed means, but maybe I can be self-employed and go over there and somehow fend for myself and just freelance stuff while in Belgium, so I don't have to worry about getting the job part. Will they let me move in and have a residency there if I don't have a corporate gig? I don't know. Maybe they don't know. The website's not up to date. That might make it a little bit easier. I also, as part of this moving into Belgium, you have to register with something called the Population Register, which I guess is a nice way of saying you have to let the government know you're living there. I guess it's something more important than just the census. It's the actual, you live there, please tax me or something. So fine, that's just more paperwork to fill out at the local, town hall. Now, in order to get citizenship, the other thing you need to do is, first you need to know what's legal and illegal. I think that's probably pretty obvious. Don't kill people. That's good, right? Don't copy others' works. Don't steal money from people. I think it's probably similar in Belgium as it is here in America. I'm just going to assume that. The trickier part, but something that we can work on, and I've already been working on for a couple of years, is that I need to prove my fluency in one of the country's 3 languages, Dutch, German, or French. And you can right now imagine the outrage in America if you had to prove your fluency in English. Thankfully, I've been using Duolingo for the past 2 years. I'm past day 750. So let's assume that in the course of the next 5 years, I continue to use Duolingo. I perhaps immerse myself in the culture of Belgium and learn it even faster. I think in the course of 5 years, I could pick up a certain degree of fluency in French, right? It's got to be doable, even at my advanced middle-age status. There's also a clause in there about having to show social integration and participation in economic life. Look, if I'm living there, I'm going to do my food shopping there. I hope that counts. If not, I'll be spending lots of money at the local comic shop. That certainly has to count, right? I'm helping to fund the culture of the country, so give me that one, please. I am kind of antisocial, so that might be a little trickier, but I'll work it out. Although I think I'll probably fit in just fine. I love good frites, so I'm there for you, Belgium. Please accept me with open arms. But having said all that and laying out the whole long-term plan on how this works, learning a new language, moving to a new country, getting a job in that new country, doing it for several years at a go, just so I can get my citizenship, just so I can get a passport, a small piece of paper that's folded up and has some comic book characters printed on it. There is a shortcut to all of this. As I think someone joked on my website recently, yes, you could just be a Hollywood superstar and buy your way in, or a, I guess, European movie star and buy your way in. I don't have that, but I can apply for naturalization if I, and here's the quote, have proven or be able to prove exceptional merits in the scientific, sporting, or socio-cultural fields, and as a result, be able to make a particular contribution to the international influence of Belgium. Bingo! We found it, folks. I am in. I mean, if they're putting Tintin's rocket on their passports, certainly I can live in Belgium to review their comics and add to the spread of Belgian culture to the English-speaking world. It's what I've been doing here with PipelineComics.com for the last 5 years already. Pipeline itself this year celebrating its 25th year, but for the past 5 years, a European comics focus, specifically on French and Belgian comics. Now, we can argue about what percentage is French and what percentage is Belgian. I haven't worked that out, but there's hundreds of reviews on there. Certainly, lots of Belgian culture has been exported into the English-speaking world because I've written about them. I can show them my Google Analytics. Certainly, I can get a Belgian citizenship based on my Google Analytics. Now, the website does say that the process can last up to 2 years to happen. This is not a fast-moving process, but I'm patient, and 2 years is still better than 5. Does that mean I need to live in the country for 5 years? Can I still get my citizenship from outside the country as a booster of its culture? Maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe I have to talk to a lawyer or something about that. Either way, I don't know. But I'm sure if I got into Belgium, I'd immediately subscribe to Spiro Journal because I wouldn't have to pay for the shipping anymore overseas. I'm not paying for shipping now, but it's a lot cheaper to subscribe to the magazine and get all the bonuses that come with the magazine every week when you're in the country rather than over here in North America. In fact, I think I want to plan to move into the town of, I'm going to try to pronounce this, Charleroi, most likely, just so I can be closer to Dupuy and Spiro. And this way I can look at that Marsupilami statue in the roundabout every day. But yeah, I think being a comics influencer, and I put that in quotes, you can't see my hands, but trust me, 2 fingers in each hand, making air quotes, comics influencer is the new fast track to Belgian citizenship and that prize passport that I probably only use to head over to Paris from Belgium in order to buy some more comic books and maybe visit Parc Asterix. That would be fun. So if someone at the Belgian consulate hears this by any chance, I'm putting this out in the world. Yes, I'm being one of those people. If I believe it can happen, if I throw it out there in the world for everyone to hear, it can happen. I'm going to make this thing materialize. Maybe an honorary citizenship? I don't need a full-fledged citizenship. I'm not asking to be knighted in England or anything. Just, make me an honorary one of your people. Trust me, I eat a lot of fries. We'd get along just fine. I don't drink beer in general. It's not just Belgian beer. I don't drink beer. But I think my name is Belgian, for goodness sakes, De Bleek. I've seen lots of names of people from Belgium. I've seen the Blacks and the Blocks. I'm right there with you. I'm one of yours. Welcome me in. In fact, when you give me the passport, or when I buy the passport, you don't have to give it to me. I'm not asking for a handout here. No, heaven forbid. I'm willing to pay the 65 euros. I haven't looked at the conversion from dollars to euros these days, so I'm sure it's more expensive somehow, but it's okay. For a one-time thing, I'll figure it out. You can just write void on the inside of the passport. That's fine. The passport just looks really cool. I want that one. I mean, there's no way I could start an international incident with this, is there? And I know the Belgian consulate is in New York City on the east side near the UN, probably near Dag Hammarskjöld Plaza like everything else is over there. I can be over there in a half hour, 45 minutes, people. So give me a call. Slide into my DMs. Whatever it is you do from a diplomatic perspective. My email address is augie, AUGIE, @pipelinecomics.com, or just, leave a comment on pipelinecomics.com or somewhere. I'm watching. I'll be looking out for you. This is important to me. You're my people. Reach out. Let's talk. And I got nothing else for you. Just, if you know anyone in Belgium, if you know anyone at the consulate, if you know anybody who's involved with ambassadors or something, I don't know how this works. This is kind of a wild, harebrained idea that kind of started out as a gag. Now I'm not so sure it's a gag anymore. It sounds like fun. I'd probably have to adjust my Twitter avatar in some way, but we'll figure it out. It's worth it. Give me a call. Thanks for listening. I'm Augie De Bleek, and I'll talk to you again real soon.